Let me see. Okay. Is that any good now? Okay. I'm Dan Hollifield. Welcome to Last Man Standing. The microphone was still muted for some reason. I do not know why. As I was saying, I say this every week. I don't know how we're going to top last stupid o'clock, but we'll give it a good old college try, or at least middle school anyway. And with me tonight, I've got Joe and Dawn and Aunt Donna and Rich, and we will see whether or not we can continue the madness.
I don't know if you saw my little icon. I'm sitting there, I'm like waving my hands, like
Yeah,
Dad, look.
I did see that. I'm going, what the? It's supposed to automatically unmute me when the video stops playing. I mean, seriously.
You know what supposed to's are. Not worth a
I
penny.
Mm,
I was doing the same thing. I was going,
Just
I
remember,
thought,
Dan, the apps are only as smart as the person who programmed them.
well, I wouldn't me. And I thought Dawn was just going, oh. But then
just
again,
losing it.
A little bit of that too.
oh yeah, you would. Ah,
We did plenty of that this afternoon, didn't we, Don?
We behaved.
like
Mostly.
that's going to happen.
We did. It was my Jimmy, so
Stranger.
you know we have to behave.
Oh hell no,
Oh,
I don't.
oh, okay.
Well, we don't have to, but it just kind of comes out to be nice to him, you know.
Yeah, his
Oh, I was
girlfriend might
nice to
actually
him.
be watching. Uh,
Oh, she's on a boat. She had a friend who had a uh, +1 sailing thing, and called up and said, "This is your only chance. Do you want to go? First come, first serve." And she was, her mama didn't raise no dummy. She said, "Oh yeah." So she's set on a sailing ship somewhere
Yeah,
is she by the Azores now?
somewhere
whoa,
between
Some
France and the Azores and the Netherlands, somewhere in
Yeah.
that.
someplace warm. And ladies and gentlemen, this will tell you the exact how messed up Facebook is at 5:17, 5 minutes and 17 seconds into the show. Facebook decided to remind me that I needed to start the show.
of course they
I
would.
still I still haven't heard from YouTube yet. So
Well,
That's
we are
funny. I've
so
just been doing guerrilla warfare
it
with
might
mine
be
for now.
Thursday. It might be next Thursday before they tell me to start tonight's show. Who knows? Well, at least the comment section
mhm.
pretty much portrays me as the clown that I am. Duh. And in this
Yeah.
case, it's Marcel Marceau. Um,
Which wasn't his birthday yesterday.
I'm not
Was it?
sure. I'm not sure.
There was the Google Doodle was of a mime, and when I hovered over it, it was talking about Marcel Marceau.
Well, it
Ah,
probably
that's
was
that's
then.
true. I
Yes.
I remember
Yes.
that now.
And he had the only dialogue in Mel Brooks' silent movie.
Yes,
Hmm.
And if you're watching the entire movie and Marcel Marceau says hello and everybody else is in subtitles, um, it might have gone by too fast for people to grasp the actual ridiculous humor of that, but it's Mel Brooks,
So Mel Brooks.
Hmm.
Mel
so
Brooks
very.
does a beautiful job of taking the absurd, the horrific, and the extremely philosophic, and just making just the perfect light fluffy souffle.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I just remembered this tiny bit of trivia. Young Frankenstein,
Hmm.
Um, yeah, really. It's in the other channels' videos. Gene Wilder actually wrote the screenplay for that and submitted it to Mill. I don't know how many people know that, but I I found out through the novelization of the movie. And no, it wasn't written by Helen Dean Foster. I'm sorry, um, but I did not know that Gene Wilder was a well. Go ahead and call him a playwright. I mean, seriously, that's what he was doing.
Hmm.
Um,
I think he helped on Blazing Saddles too.
um, Probably so. I haven't read anything about that, so I've
Frankenstein.
seen
That's
it.
what I
I've
forgot
seen
to
it
mention
several
on
times.
Stupid O'clock.
I've seen
Uh,
it
Man,
several times.
Guillermo del Toro is doing his adaptation of Frankenstein for Netflix.
I
Oh,
watched you talk about that.
So you were the other one, you and Misty. Um,
I seem to
but
remember that.
it was
yeah,
a
so that's going to be really interesting. One of my favorite monster movie creators and one of my favorite monster novels.
mhm.
Um, I really want to see where the hell his mind goes with that.
Hmm.
Is he going to lean more towards Shelley and society is what made the creature a monster, or is he going to lead, or is he going to lead more towards the 30s and the Karloff version where it's because of a broken brain?
Or how about B Cam's version?
I have not read Saint Stein yet. I would like to. Uh, but
As you were talking about, that's all I could think about was Santa Stein, honestly.
I really want to
It's
see Frankenstein done Shelley's way, where it's a product of alchemy, not electricity. Lightning
mm-hmm.
was the spark that gave him the idea, but he did it through ancient alchemy.
Hmm.
Sorry, Donna, go ahead.
Right. Oh no, I agree with you. That would be nice, but um, yeah, you're gonna like BKM's take on Santa Stein.
I like BKM's flavor of broken, so I get the feeling anything of his that I pick up, I'm going to adore. Just funds have been tight for the past year or so, so I haven't had a chance to go out and splurge on everyone's books like I would like to.
Well, get your shit published and trade him even for one.
I'm working on it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do that.
Now there was something back in the
They
70s.
quiched me.
You
Say,
won't
what
be
did
the
you?
last.
Wait, I don't remember intervention being held during the green room.
No,
Not yet, not yet, but he's getting close.
there were a few threats between Donna and Carl and Dan.
Hmm. Now you do realize I have read some of your stuff before,
Mm-hmm.
and the world needs you. Science needs you. Uh, Parapsychology is looking for you for back rent. Um,
So
what was it? There was a made-for-TV movie back in the 70s. Frankenstein: The True Story was a two-night movie of the week sort of thing, and it was very excellently done. And they did the same thing that Mel Brooks did with Young Frankenstein. They used some of the original um, Hammer film Frankenstein's laboratory electrical equipment for the lab.
ooh,
Yes, it Not all of it. Not the way that Mel Brooks did. Mel Brooks called in the entire truckload of stuff and said, "Set it up, make it catch the place on fire. I want this to spark." But they did use some of it, and they also used um, um, Fresnel lens mirrors and solar power for some of it too. Hey, it was the 70s. I mean, folks were thinking, why is there a box? So it got weird. It, but the actors and actresses were very, very good. It was quite effective for something made for TV. And there were a few scenes that were somewhat disturbing to my young mind, like somebody getting their head ripped off. And
That's commonplace now for almost every movie.
yeah, but this was the 70s for TV. Movie of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of pushing the envelope till it ripped. So,
And then kept stuffing more stuff in.
yep. There. Oh Lord, there have been probably more adaptations of Frankenstein than there have been for people doing adaptations of James Bond or uh, well, just about
Yeah,
anything, because that is
anything.
one of the older. that is one
Dracula,
of the oldest.
Frankenstein are probably two of the most reused and abused properties that are out there.
One thing I did like, I read that there was a Spanish version of Dracula that was filmed at the same time using the same sets as the Bela Lugosi version with different actors and actresses. And apparently the the Mexican actor playing Dracula was very effective and could actually give Lugosi a run for his money.
All right. Have you guys heard that they are doing a movie based on Renfield now
Yes.
Yes.
with Nicolas Cage as Dracula?
Hmm.
I was reading a story the other day where the director says that this movie is supposed to be a direct sequel to the 1931 Dracula.
Ooh.
Mm.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But again, it's done from a comedy angle.
Hmm.
Yeah.
The trailers I saw, I really want to see it.
From the
Trailers make
trailer,
it look pretty good. Yeah.
from the trailer I saw, Renfield is basically the Marvel Comics superhero version of Renfield.
Yeah, it's Renfield, many, many, many years later, and he's just like, I don't like my job anymore. How do I quit?
Hmm. But
Well, when you're working for Dracula, that's rather difficult.
he's got powers too that I didn't know Winfield was supposed to have.
This is where I pulled in the Marvel Comics
Yeah.
reference. Yeah.
In a lot of vampire stories, their thralls, their ghouls, if you will, are often imbued with some type of additional power, grace, strength type of a deal from usually the original consumption of the host vampire's blood without that person being drained and killed. So they're kind of half. But again, there's so many stories that go off in that direction, and many of them are based off of various forms of fiction and comic books and now role-playing games that just make it cool for these people to be, just cruising around,
Hmm.
Yeah.
We don't want them to be a faux vampire. We want them to be able to do something during the day too, kind of the deal. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, The only thing that worried me is I don't want it to wind up being the Deadpool version of Renfield, but that line is there to be crossed. We will see in the final production whether or not it does exceed that speed limit.
Yeah.
Um, but still, look pretty cool.
Yeah, and I like Nicholas Holt and I like Nicolas Cage. So
Oh, I had just watched Nick Cage's what was the burden of awesome
oh
burden of talent, or now I can't remember how it's worded, where this gangster wants to meet him, and so the CIA gets involved.
the unbearable weight of massive talent.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, I kind of I got it on Netflix. I kind of got it because okay, it's Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 50-50 chance of it being good or really stinking. And it was pretty good.
Well, even his bad stuff is entertaining because of how bad it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, you've seen Raising Arizona.
I
I love
like-
that movie. I
I
really
like
I
love
Raising
never-
that
Arizona a
movie.
lot.
I love that movie.
I couldn't sit through it. I haven't seen it all.
Um,
Now this one starts out kind of really slow, and he's kind of an asshole. But when he gets to where the gangster is, it picks up and it becomes really really interesting. I'll say. So if you
well,
haven't seen it, I would say yeah, go see it. Or get it and see it.
I will admit I'm one of the few people I know that actually likes his take on Ghost Rider in both movies.
Oh yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm.
And although Sam Elliott really helps on the first one,
He helps with anything.
I was gonna say
Sorry.
yeah.
yeah, let me go get my hat. Seriously. And there have been tons of other. Although I will say I'm glad in one way that uh, the version of Superman that he was wanting to do did not get made. I don't think I would have to seen the entire thing before I would be able to make a pure decision. But from just the production stills that I have seen and the little blurb, back cover blurb sort of breakdown of the plot, I don't know that I would have enjoyed the entire movie. Probably would have enjoyed his performances, but that might have been my limit for that one. Now he's done a lot of stuff
hmm
and a very varied collection of stuff, and it's not all of them are for everybody. And you can say that about a lot of actors and a lot of the films that they think are going to be really great, and they give it their all, and somehow or another in post production it turns out to be less than optimal. Shall we be
He's been in
candid?
so many things. I was trying to. My mind was going faster than I could think of the movies he's been in, so I had to cheat.
Hey,
hmm
the man has been working for quite a while, and there are a lot of well, actually, there are a lot of folks in the same book that have been working for quite a while, and they've done a lot of things, and some of them are outstanding, and some of them are kind of so-so, and some of them you just go, the studio ruined that one in post-production, didn't they? Or that script must have looked a whole lot better in print than it does on the screen.
Could
Uh,
yeah.
or the original version of the script looked awesome, and someone with a executive producer title that could pull their money out at any second was like, no, we need to make this change mid production.
Yeah.
And that happens to a large number of films.
Because there's a number of actors out there that are truly, truly talented that are in just these real, just stinker movies. And it's like, how? And then you got to think, well, what they were given originally probably is not what ended
What
up in the
wound
middle.
up?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, halfway through the movie, rewriting the script, doing reshoots, and they're just like, screw it. I spent so much time on this. Ow, that hurt. I was
Yeah,
talking
that's
with my
probably what they say.
I was talking with my hands and my thumb got tangled in my my headphone cable. But
Sounds like something I would
it's
have done.
I've put too much time in this. I want to get paid.
Yeah.
Mhm. I've come this far, might as well finish it and just get the hell out.
I believe in this project. Don't
'Cause
believe in the producer.
there's so many flicks that I was looking at. Like, let's go all the way back with oh hell, what was it?
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
No, it was a
That
space
too.
movie I was talking about a few
The
weeks
one,
ago
the one,
with
the
John
one with
Boyd
several different titles.
and Robert Vaughn
Yeah.
and I'm like, how did they get Robert Vaughn for this? And
Bills have to be paid.
yeah, I mean, some of these things that are just so cheesy, and oh hell, what's the one with Farrah Fawcett and
Saturn 3.
Saturn 3? Kirk Russell, Farrah Fawcett, and why can't I remember the third actor? I love the third actor. Harvey Keitel,
Harvey Keitel. Yes, indeed.
where they went over Harvey's voice in post.
Yeah.
Mm.
And actually, that was one that I saw in the theater back in the day when it was brand new. And
Never saw it.
I
From
won't
the
say
bits
it's
and
bad.
pieces I did see, I think they just let Kirk Russell and Kirk Russell. It's not Kirk Russell. Kirk Douglas. Kirk Douglas. Let Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett just get extremely baked and just do weird shit.
Well, no, it actually in the theater it made sense. It's just it was very
Well, how many people were
hard.
baked in the theater?
Well, it was the 70s.
Everybody
It
was
was-
baked.
Especially the people that were making the movie, yeah, and not the actors, but the people that were laying out the money. No,
I
the
refuse to
the
reply to
sticking
that.
the sticking point of that one was impressing Harvey Keitel's personality onto the robot. That was where everybody's um, suspension of disbelief kind of stumbled. They couldn't figure out with the technology there how that would be possible, and it was just it was a leap too far in story logic. Maybe the actual development of the technology got left on the cutting room floor of the movie. Who knows? Maybe it was just one of those things where, oh, okay, we're going to turn Harvey Keitel into a killer robot and turn him loose. And hey, it was entertaining for that 2 hours. It was not one of those things that was going to win a lot of awards. Although I've never seen Kirk Douglas turn in a bad performance. I mean, and I have seen 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and heard him sing.
Oh, I
So,
was thinking of the Outlaw.
uh,
That was an amusing little movie.
Oh,
Do you remember it?
uh, yeah, I do, and I really enjoyed it. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen it often enough. I need to rewatch it again. Um, there was one
Yeah.
that there was one that my memory popped up, and it was Sean Connery in Outland, which was I don't know if they thought they were going to get James Bond, but they got Sean Connery playing James Arness basically. It was Marshall Dillon in Outer Space.
Never saw it.
Oh, at the time, it was really good. I don't know how well it will have aged. Um, that's the thing with sci-fi movies. You get this great concept, you get all these great writers, you get all these people that are really great at making movies, and you put them together, and it might turn out to be a period piece, although you didn't intend it to be, because everything changes as time marches on. Um, who was it? Somebody was saying something about uh, having a greater appreciation of uh, 2010 as opposed to 2001: A Space Odyssey. Was that you, Rich, or was that another one of my friends?
It had to be someone else. I've never been able to sit through either movie the entire way through. I've seen the entire movie several times, but it's catching 20 minutes here, half an hour here, and
Mm,
usually
that's
never in
about
the
the
proper
way
order.
anybody can wear it, right? It can watch it, right? So I saw both of them.
Well, I've seen them all. Uh,
And then there's Dan.
And
yes,
then there's Dan.
yes, but you got to remember writer logic. I'm always analyzing things and going, oh wow, oh that's going to happen here in about 15 minutes. Just give it time. There it is. See, I told you.
Oh, okay.
I almost got my ass kicked in the 2010 Wolfman movie because I'm watching the movie and I'm not even paying attention, and out loud I state, "Oh, so and so is the original werewolf." And everyone looked at me like, "No, no, no, no." And then when it kicked off that actually was happened, they're like, "How did you know?" I'm like, "That's the way I would have wrote it."
It's
Mhm.
writer logic. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
I
not
have
see,
just
wrote
writer
it.
now,
logic, but werewolf fan and writer logic.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I have ruined so
There's this
many
thing.
movies for my
Yeah,
family that way, going, oh, okay, I see. And it's like, wait a minute, the credits haven't even started yet.
yeah. There it is. You say your writer's logic. You write science fiction, Dan.
Hmm.
I don't. I write mostly crime dramas, so I'm that way on my spy movies and stuff.
Yep.
My sister-in-law punched me in the side because I'm was always doing that, just watching the movie, just going, "Oh, this is how it's going to end up." So the movie Taking Lives. So she invited us over because she had already watched it and she knew the twist and stuff like that. So we're watching it, and then I'm like, "Oh, blah blah blah," and she turned and just nailed me right in the side
Ugh,
because she's like, "No one's ever going to guess this. How did he guess this?" It's
that's
the
how I
way
would have
I
written it.
would write it, you know.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She apologized afterwards because, well, here's the thing: me getting hit in the sides or my knees, my instinct reaction is to lash right back out
Mm-hmm.
because they're very sensitive and very painful. So she cracked me in the side hard enough that I couldn't breathe.
Mm.
And I physically had to grab my left hand to stop from doing an instinctual backhand. Thankfully, we just lived literally right next door. So, I mean, walk out our door, walk 5 feet, walk in, because we actually used to live. We could Shawshank Redemption to talk to each other if we really wanted to. Just get a spoon and a poster of Rita Hayworth, and we can burrow to one another. We're that close. But oh yeah,
Again,
that
a movie
was not
I've
a good
never
night.
watched.
Twice I got in real serious trouble with my first wife when we went to the theater to see brand new movies that had just come out. One of them was Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the other one was Jewel of the Nile. Now,
Mm.
with Jewel of the Nile, I had already seen Romancing the Stone, so I knew which way the writers were going to jump with this. And I
Yeah.
was able to predict dialogue minutes in advance. And she looked at me and go, "Who did you come and see this movie with before you took me?" And I'm going, this is opening night. It's never been shown in this town before. What am I supposed to do? And it's seriously, once you get a feel for the characters, you understand the voices that they're going to use. And
Mhm.
unless the writers are really trying to change things up more than average, you can sit there and you go, oh, okay, the machine gun on the airplane stopped working. He was referring to it as a video game. He ran out of quarters. Dialogue comes up. Damn, run out of quarters. I about got drug out of there by the police for domestic violence when my wife was the guilty party, the violent person. She waited till we got home. Um,
Well, I've learned to not say out loud, "Well, this is going to happen," but there'll be some kind of twist or something go on, and there's about 5 people in my life that if I'm watching that movie with them, they turn to me and go, "That's how you would have done it, huh?" I'm like, "Mm-hmm."
My problem is I've seen Rocky Horror, Shock Treatment, and Friend of the Paradise too many times not to talk back to the screen.
Pretty live wire.
Yeah, but you're supposed to talk back to the screen in Rocky Horror.
Yes, I know. That's part of the fun.
Oh yeah.
I probably should sit down and watch the Repo the Genetic Opera in the same vein that I would Rocky Horror. I haven't yet. I think I've got a copy of it somewhere. Then again, maybe not. I don't know. Y'all have seen the photographs of the shelves of DVDs and VHS that we've got. I don't even remember what stuff I've got on the shelf anymore. I bought 3 copies of which one was it? I think I bought 2 copies of Green Hornet, the Seth Rogen thing, and 3 copies of The Spirit, not knowing that I already had them. Just going, oh yeah, this will be great. Get home. Ooh, well, I guess I'll put it next to the other copies.
Sounds like us in the Allman Brothers band. I think we've got the greatest hits 3 or 4 times now.
Oh Lord,
No.
there's so many. There are so many compilations of Allman Brothers' greatest hits out there.
No, it's the same one. It's the same blue covered one.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
So now that we know we have it that many times when we run into it, we're like, hey, we should get this. Ted's like, stop.
No.
No.
We've got to find somebody to gift the other two for Christmas sometime.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd be nice and try to rearrange some stuff. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt because I didn't want to have another nipple gate and have you guys go flying. Little shit flying here on the side. She didn't even. She's.
You said that, and Rich disappeared.
Misty needs
think-
me. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
So she decides to lay down over there now.
See,
Really?
this is where you do a thing called compiling a list. I've got a list of my CDs, a list of my books. Before Dropbox came along, I use Dropbox so that if Carl's out, he can look too. I had a folder because whenever we go on a trip, we made sure we stopped at two places: used bookstores and cigar shops.
mhm.
And I'd go to that section and I'd just start going through. Okay, yep, got that one. Oh, need that one. And then once,
This lived in my wallet for at least 30 years,
mm-hmm.
and it was supposed to tell me which VHS tapes I needed to replace with DVD. But I never read it.
you gotta read them. And now
Yeah,
I
you
have
got to
this.
look at the list. It's not enough just to make the list. You've got to actually read it.
But sometimes if you make the list, it'll kind of get into your brain then, though, too. You're like, oh, I remember typing that.
Not my brain. No, thank you. No.
But yeah, now I have this handy little list on my thing that I've
Oh.
used. I hit myself. Did you notice?
No, because Dan disappeared and got us all discombobulated now.
Only seeing half our faces.
I see that. Yes,
This is my whole face.
yes, because
I
she's
can
in the
see.
middle.
I can only see half of your faces. Apparently something's wrong with mine if this is only half my face.
No, but the way Donna and I look like you're about to get Eiffel Towered. Anyway,
But yeah, I don't know if we can see that. Nope.
nope.
But it's got the title, the date, and if it's got a subtitle, then that way I know what I've got, what I don't. I have a separate list for different authors that I do, and then I have just the A authors or the B authors. Because when you've got over 5,000 books in your library, you don't want to
I
get
think-
any duplicates. And now I have a list of authors and artists that we know personally.
I've met a few of them, I think.
Yeah. Where do you get down to HoloCon?
That's gonna be fun. I'm just going down to meet Mike Jimmy. That's the only reason. No.
Hi, little one,
Aw, which one?
Calvin.
Hi, Calvy Welvy.
Come here, baby boy.
I said hi, Calvy Welvy, and she's down here and she murred. Oh, hi, Calvin. So cute.
Aunt Dawn says hi. What's wrong?
Joe
with
actually
you?
looked up.
Oh, sorry about that. Can't go drinking beer all day and keep it to yourself. Well,
Oh,
not all day.
They all come back at the same time. Look at Calvin did it.
Get
No,
your
you-
shit
Calvin.
together, woman.
What was that, Joe?
My wife was sneezing uncontrollably.
And you said that to her?
If you heard how many times she sneezes in a row, yes.
And yet he lives.
I was just thinking.
I
Do
was
I
just
need-
waiting for that hand to come to the back of the head.
I was kind of watching for that too, Donna.
Oh, see, no, I'm from my Mac. I'm facing where she's sitting at, so I'll be able to see her coming.
Do I need
So
to bless some water and get some salt and head over with a few dozen crosses? I mean,
So we could wait for the hand just to come and hit you right in the forehead, then, right?
Pretty much.
I've got a few.
That, or else we'll see Joe just out of the room.
Handmade and prayed over by me.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't we already watch a show today, Donna, where there was a chair that broke? That could happen again, right? Or somebody fell out of the chair, or,
Yeah.
I love you, dear.
Yeah. You
Suck
better
up.
bases.
We need having surgery on that nose, Joe. It got some brown marks on it.
You gotta sleep sometime, kid.
The hell I do.
Well,
Yeah, when twist the frying
That's what
pan
the
to his
work
head.
truck is for.
Yeah.
well, Don, in my World of Warcraft, we now have dragons that we can be. I named my female one after Trey.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Many of my female
Because I'm
characters
like,
are
I
named after
need
my
a
wife.
good, strong name for this dragon, and oh, that would be a great name. So yeah, I hope she would feel honored if she knows that. But
Oh, she would.
You tell her, Joe.
Hey, honey, you have a dragon named after you. Yes. She just said that's awesome.
Awesome.
We know, we heard it. Now you can sleep tonight.
Yes,
No,
her voice is actually in one of the frequencies I can still hear.
No, she has always told me she will not kill me in my sleep. I will be awake, I will be armed, and I will be facing her because that, going to do me a hell of a lot of good.
That's why you keep running away, kid. That's why you keep running away.
That's why I try and use a longer sword and keep her at distance.
Mm,
Not gonna
Not
work.
that's going to help.
you're gonna need a pole arm. One of those with the crossbars to keep them from running up it.
I was thinking a joust.
Well, yeah, but different design. That's
She was trained by Nick, and it's amazing watching those two actually fence each other because it's almost like watching them two mirror images.
It's a beautiful, beautiful sight to behold.
oh boy.
You forget to be paying attention to take pointers.
Mm.
I haven't done that in ages. I probably would need to learn all over again.
Did have to go buy 2 new bowls.
No, I think I kept that. I just put them away. But I still,
They're
yeah,
on
the whole
top
outfit,
shelf.
including the
next
gorget, but the helmet belonged to one of the others because I never did get a helmet. But let me tell you, when you get racked upside the head in that helmet, I understand the meaning of having my bell rung.
One of them.
Kabong!
My clanger is clanging.
I've always known that version of ringing my bell dance.
Mm.
Rich. I saw the moment that hit him.
Oh,
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
So,
oh.
everybody see my announcement this week
Getting
You
to
had
meet your
lunch?
about
family.
my family? Yes.
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 The redhead sitting next to you, that picture. Yes, you guys can tell that you are siblings. There
Oh,
is
yeah.
like not even a question on that.
I mean, this group of people walk in, 7 or 8 of them. I don't remember now, and I'm looking. Okay, could I be related to any of these people? And my eyes fall on this woman with the auburn hair. She's a little chubby. She's carrying a purse with fringe on it. And I'm like, I'm definitely related to that one.
And it turned out to be the Uber driver.
Oh.
But yeah, I'm still third because in my family I have my two older brothers, one who's gone, and me. But I'm no longer baby of the family. I'm now an older sister.
Uh-oh. That means you gotta be a gotta
Oh,
behave, right?
oh hell no. No.
There's nothing about being a sibling that implies behavior is necessary.
Especially, remember the redhead that I said I knew I was related to? Yeah, she's as ornery as I am.
That's saying something.
I mean, maybe it's a good thing we didn't grow up together.
Yeah, both of you are still alive. Yes.
And the world isn't on fire.
Wait, is Keisha watching?
This is not necessarily a good thing. I mean, seriously, a little bit of creative destruction is entertaining.
Mhm.
Witness
Yeah,
our
but when
witness our long conversation about the care and feeding
Firecrackers?
of high explosives. Yes, in the other show. Yeah.
it's when the fire and brimstone just randomly appear that
Which was about to happen at Joe's house tonight until he found out. Then
I just realized shortly before the fire department showed up outside, we were talking about high explosives, weren't we?
Yes.
It was a preemptive strike. Nobody's sick.
and what list are you on now, Rich?
The
The
shorter
shorter
list is-
thing is going to be what lists aren't I on?
yeah.
Really. It's much easier
I'm
to
a writer,
compile a list of the
I'm a
lists
fencer.
that you're not on.
And I'm a pink neck. My mom married into the family.
I was gonna say you were actually part of SCA, weren't you, at one time?
I was
Or no?
thinking of joining.
Okay.
I've got gear to join. I've never had a chance to actually attend a function. And then I wanted to join. I was going to join through a different friend. And then Rachel brought me into the fencing group. And we went off that way. And considering their treatment of Nick, F him.
Yeah.
You know.
I was saying, 'cause I think most of those, pretty much everybody who's officially joined is on a list.
Yeah.
Several.
Yeah, at least one for the SCA. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And-
yeah, it's
And Chris, the other Joe, the one that's here right now, not Joe Dog.
I've been on lists since probably 1986, at the very least.
So you've been
I-
on lists for almost 37 years.
I was still in junior high.
I believe the first time I got on an official watch list, Richard Nixon was president. I wrote him a letter. It was about NASA, hoping that he would, give them more money.
Hmm.
But I'm sure that got me on a list because I got all kinds of stuff from NASA that I had never written to, but I had written to Nixon, and it one of the secretaries must have passed it along. I found out about the NERVA rocket program, which I'd never heard of before, the nuclear engine for rocket vehicle application. So that was neat, especially for a high schooler that was reading science fiction and never even knew that he was going to wind up writing the crap.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Don. Chris wants you to
What?
take your hair down.
Huh?
Chris
Where's
wants
he
you.
at?
In
He's
the
in the
comments.
chat.
Yeah. There you go, Chris.
Okay. See, now I can't hear anybody.
I'm just being helpful. No,
All right,
funny.
Chris, just stand there. Someone will bring you a towel.
What the hell am I missing? It's not in the chat.
Now the question is,
He's on
was it
Facebook, so it's in the
Oh.
comments.
Well,
the question is, was he like, oh damn, looks good, or oh damn, she's about to whoop somebody's ass? Because usually when girls pull the hair back, it's usually someone's getting their ass. Suddenly just pull the hair back, it's like someone's getting their ass whooped. Take out the earrings.
Kick off the shoes.
And I
The
think that's
slipper.
why my wife. I think that's why my wife keeps her hair short, because then she doesn't have to pull it back, and it keeps you guessing.
I did have it down. I put it up, and now I guess I got to take it back down because
And I hear her saying something, but I can't hear her over the headset. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
You'll find out later.
I will be falling asleep before her tonight because she goes midnights tomorrow night.
Tactical ponytails. Affix something that's not really a fix, so that someone goes to grab it and it comes off, and then you can be like, sucker.
Yep. Gallagher used to do that when he was doing his comedy routine. He would put a fake ponytail on his hat and have his hair cut short so that it looked like he used to look back in the day.
Oh, I can put it back. Go ahead.
And then somebody would make a comment about it. He'd tip the hat and the ponytail would go flying, and then put it back on and it'd go right back in place and look beautiful.
Okay, so Chris wants me to put my hair down, and now he's telling me to put it back up.
No, he's not telling you to. He's saying you can if you wish.
Yeah.
But he loves the way it looks right now, and I can't blame him.
Wait a minute. What?
So
That's okay.
Why are you getting blamed for this, Donna?
Because I'm the one that told you to take your hair down.
Yeah.
Oh.
So my mom, back when I was 4 or 5 years old, she had a pituitary tumor, and they had her go through some rounds of chemo until they got the results back on it to find out if it was cancerous or not. And of course, she started losing some of her hair. And the story of Gallagher with the fake little ponytails was making me think of this. She worked on the 4th floor of the hospital as a unit secretary. And the charge nurse that night sits down at one of the desks and goes, "Hey Terry, how's the night going?" She goes, "Joe, I could just pull my hair out." And she takes and grabs 2 tufts of hair and pulls them off. She says the first time she's ever seen a nurse turn green.
Practical jokers do rule the world.
Yeah.
The world just doesn't see it that way.
And if you ever wonder where I get my dark sense of humor from, it is her.
Thank you, Mama.
Mm-hmm.
My mom worked at Kmart in the 70s, which of course was a time of long hair for guys. And she worked in the millinery department. That's hats and purses to you people who don't know. And they also had wigs. Nice wigs. I owned 3 of them. But one day, this youngish man came in. He was about 18 or 19, and he was totally bald. And it was a genetic condition. And he got to looking at one of the shorter wigs. And he's like, well, how much is this? And what do you do with them? So she set him down. One of the things that they did was to help people put the wigs on, show them what they look like, and how they could brush them and do stuff other stuff with it. So she had him sit down. She brought him, what color do you want? She brought the wig, and it I guess it looked really natural because he had a couple buddies with him going, "Yeah, you need to buy that." And he said, "Well, I think I will." He said he was in the army, so having the bald head was good at when he was on duty. But when he got free and went into town, he wanted to have long hair like all the rest of the young men of his age did. So yeah, she sold him a nice little wig and made one of our army guys very, very happy.
Hmm.
That's wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. Oh,
Two of the meds I'm on are making my hair fall out, so it's getting thinner and thinner. So
Mm-hmm.
if I may interject a little bit of personal stuff, um, my oldest girl had to go to court to defend having custody of her nephew, and the judge decided, yes, this is the right thing. His father does not need to have custody of this
Mm-hmm.
child.
Mm-hmm.
So we are overjoyed that the kid's going to be in a nice, stable home
Mm,
forever,
good.
mhm.
and not with his biological father, who is a, shall we say, a piece of work.
We can leave it at that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. So I am over the moon on that one. The kid's just absolutely doing great. I mean, my girl is she has pretty much devoted her life to rescuing kids from bad situations, and I am so proud of her. And to see that her work is not going to be undone by the caprice of somebody who does not know the full background of the situation is very, very heartening.
Hmm.
Well, really, uh, I think any judge would have gone in her favor. Unfortunately, I guess I shouldn't say unfortunately. Anybody can file a suit
Yep.
and appeal, and it has to go through the motions, even though the outcome is pretty much, yeah, you're not getting this. Uh, they still have to go through the motions, which is hard on like you and your family. But I'm glad turned out the way it did.
So am I. Very much so. Um, I was worried that the judge would not look at all of the evidence and the past history and would have come to a mistaken conclusion. I knew that was very, very unlikely because most of the judges around here in the child custody courts are really examining everything, even stuff you wouldn't think of. But it was just the fact that the suit had been filed and it had actually gotten as far as to actually having a court date. It was uh, disturbing, uh, but the ending, the outcome that happened is the best for the boy and the best for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and now we're just waiting for the bio dad to get locked up again. Um, shouldn't take too long. I mean, I'll give it 5 more minutes. Uh,
Yeah. Unfortunately, most of our child services are geared toward, oh, let's get the family back together. And
Mm,
that's not always the best solution.
Yeah.
no, no, nope.
So from what I've understand, what I've learned from my other siblings, I was the lucky one. She didn't raise any of her children. Her mother raised most of them. One of them was even taken away and grew up at the children's home.
I'm
And
sorry to hear that.
well, she says this that was probably the best thing that ever happened to her too, rather than trying to grow up with this woman.
Well, yeah,
And
it's
that's kind
sad
of
that those situations exist, but
yeah.
yeah,
We don't all have that mother instinct,
Hmm.
mm,
but unfortunately, some people go ahead and have kids whether they have that instinct or not. And she was quite busy. There were 10 of us. Maybe every couple had the same dad. She was quite busy.
I like my cigar, but I take it out every once in a while. To quote Groucho.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because
I
they
thought you were
say
quoting Bill Clinton.
they say that when you're carrying your child, you can leave an imprint on your child,
Yeah.
and I have always felt that Violet didn't care for me. And now that I've talked to them, I'm like, I was right. That imprint that she gave me was correct. In fact, he they lived in Champaign County. Came over to Vermilion County to have me where my parents were. And when she went home, she told her mother that I died in childbirth. They're like, okay. And that kind of explains some feelings that I had when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody would bring that up. So
And
yeah,
people
life
people
is
can
funny.
be so cruel. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, well, I'm been very lucky that all my stepchildren have realized that I care for them as much as I would have if they'd actually been mine.
Mhm.
And I may not get to see them as often as I would like because life is weird.
Hmm.
But they do know I care, and
Mhm.
I've made hopefully and demonstrably in a couple of cases I've made a positive influence on their lives, and uh, I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, seriously, I'm an
Mhm.
interloper in
My
these
eldest's
situations.
birthday is today. At
Oh,
least here in the Midwest for the next 53 minutes. It's still his birthday. So it was always funny because he would do something, and I would just look at Misty. And I'm like, "Are you sure he's not mine? Are you sure we didn't meet in high school and this happened?" Granted, we went counties, right next to each other, but it's kind of humorous at how weird and almost interconnected my son and I are. In my for my eldest two, we only use step on paperwork.
yeah,
Um,
I'm
but
I'm the same way. I hate that step thing, but
my
Hmm.
it's
son calls me
it's a
Rich.
legal thing.
my middle child calls me dad. She started started out calling me Rich. Her biological father's family gave her a bunch of crap for calling me dad when she started to try to call me dad, and then she realized, you know what, screw you people. So so she calls me dad now, and then of course my youngest is biologically mine and Misty's. So, but yeah, it's an interesting mix.
Yeah. Well, I always set out to make it plain to all of them. I'm not your biological father. I'm not trying to take his place. I'd never try and do that.
Yeah, I've stated that to mine for as long as they've been mine. But
Yep.
um,
I'm
one
just I'm
time,
just trying to make a place of my own.
Mm-hmm.
And they call me Papa, and I'm going, hey, your dad is your dad. Um, I'm your mom's husband or your mom's ex-husband, as the case may be, and all I want to do is be there for you as often as I can, whenever I can. And situations don't always work out. I hope you understand, and we'll just try and go forward on this basis. And um, I'm very proud of all of them. I'm very proud of all of them. I mean, seriously, there's some. I've got some fantastic kids, absolutely fantastic. And the ones that aren't fantastic are not the ones that I claim as mine. So, um,
I wish my middle child realized the potential they actually have.
oh, that is the
It's
hardest thing to get through sometimes.
well, she's special needs, and the school basically just pushed her through. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to learn anything. The world will take care of you. No programs will take her.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, so she's having to learn the hard way that I can't afford to be their sole provider as much as I would like to. I mean, hell, if I win the lottery,
Yeah,
my
really.
kids, my nieces, my
Tomorrow, yeah.
nephews, my siblings, some of my closest friends, they're on Easy Street, um, buy a compound somewhere and really get put on some lists.
Oh, yes.
They're not
Uh,
taking power from the grid. No, we've got solar panels and windmills. Take a hike. Go ahead, hook up your grid and see how much you have to pay us every month.
really. I've run my clock radio off of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Carl says if he wins the lottery, he wants to have a creative. He used to say writers compound, but now that we know more than just writers, now he's saying creative compound. Where
Ooh, that means Joe can burn his wood.
yeah,
I've always wanted to
I
start a
am so
charity
not touching that line.
that would allow folks to build their home and live in it for reduced rates and stuff like that, like where they're building it, stuff like that. But have a bunch of people build the apartment complex, teach some people how to run the administrative side of it, and then eventually turn it over to these people so that they can rent out vacant apartments to other people. You learn the trade of a handyman. It's I you know I I've grown up on the give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And just something like that. But too many folks in today's society don't want that. They just want stuff handed to them.
Just
Well,
keep
yeah,
giving me
I
the fish.
deserve
Give me
it.
that
Yeah.
government check. Give me that and I'm not saying anything against folks who are taking federal or state or municipal aid or anything of that nature whatsoever. I'm saying I have seen a lot of abuse in that system, and there's a lot of people who don't want to work. Now, for every one person like that I know, I do know 3 people who are on assistance who are doing their best to get everything in order for themselves so that they can get off. Assistance, not just.
I didn't even take it that way.
I
Yeah,
did
it is.
to
It's the
myself.
green room. It's green room. It's room.
See, I was going to make the comment earlier when I was sanding my wood. If you see my arm moving back and forth, I was sanding this.
Sure.
That's the one.
He was sanding his wood right after Dawn put her hair up in the ponytail.
Yeah.
I thought it was taking it down. Or was it putting it? I'm over here.
I last a while, so it could have been both. I take my time with sanding the wood, so.
Well, I'm over here
That way
petting
you
my
avoid
Hey,
friction
hey,
burns.
hey!
cat.
Chris hasn't come back yet, so he's not through sanding his wood.
Chris went to his bunk.
I made the mistake of stopping by Michael's earlier today.
Just like I said, remember, if you see my arm going this way, I'm over here petting my.
Yeah, I'm making little signs for the.
So you got wood at Michael's?
Yes.
I've,
often,
I've, I've,
actually.
I've seen that happen before. Yes.
Also gotten at Joann's and.
Oh Lord, they've got 57 kinds of oil paint.
Wait. He's had wood at Joann's and Michael's.
And Hobby Lobby.
Joe gets around.
But you can't get wood there on Sunday.
No.
You
But it
can.
is
You just got to pick the locks first.
But it is
Ken
a
at
fun.
Michael's.
It is a fun place to go for all your pagan needs. Isn't that right, dear?
Oh, you talking about Hobby Lobby?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet
That's
they
the-
love the pagans there. I
That's the
know they
only
do.
reason why my wife shops there. She will pick up anything pagan related there that she plans to use.
But if you
What
ask,
is Joe Dog still
not
doing
pagan
away?
related.
Ah,
We were talking about Joe's wood, and now you know he's awake. Okay.
yeah. He's just checking to see whether or not I
Sanding
nodded
wood,
off and left
waxing
you
the
all alone.
dolphin,
I was gonna say, did somebody say his name 3 times?
shaking hands with the general.
Shaking hands with Mr. Happy.
Getting acquainted with Mrs. Hand and her 5 daughters?
Rosie Palm and her 5 daughters, yes.
One of my favorite lines from any movie deals with the 2 Corys. And it's from the beginning of Dream a Little Dream. And I want to say it's Feldman says, "I am in love." And then I think Haim comes back with, "Which hand is it this week, Romeo?" Now, I might have switched the 2 Corys around because back then they were fairly interchangeable. But still, that's one of my favorite lines. And of course, that's a teenage movie about that kind of stuff. And I was a teenager. And apparently, the love interest in that movie is now married to Patton Oswalt.
Yes. I can't think of what her name is, but yes.
Nor can I at the moment. But I was
She was in The Adventures of Nanny Hand.
I was so in love with her as a teenager, and that movie made, striped thigh-high socks.
Made you change your hands every other day, huh?
No. I was very reserved in that kind of thing back then. Maybe had a couple years after that. Couple years after that, and but at that point in my life, I was very reserved.
You committed to one hand.
No. The one hand would get
didn't.
tired. The one hand would get tired after a while, and I have to switch over.
But did you pick up a stroke? Is the question.
Why is Rich turning red?
I don't know. You're talking about golf scores, and all of a sudden he's embarrassed.
Yeah. Why is Dickie turning red when he's emitting a Dutch in his Dickie? And I'm not talking about the one wearing under judge's robe.
That's okay. I bet I can get everybody to wins right now. Anybody want to see my box?
Always.
Let's see your box, Joe.
Now, I picked up a few wooden boxes I'm going to turn into like
Trinket
dice
box.
and miniature holders, I think. I just got to burn something on the top. I have no idea what yet, but it's actually fairly
If you're
deep.
doing
Nice little, yeah.
well, usually you do want a box that's somewhat deep.
Right.
Anyway,
Especially if you're putting minis in it.
There's no way I can diffuse this.
Although
No,
that box is nowhere near big enough for the purple worm.
Oh. But yeah, I'm gonna do some kind of probably D&D-ish design on it. I haven't figured out what yet, but I'm gonna get some of the. They make a black felt that has a sticky backing.
All you need to do is listen to Linda Ronstadt. Tumbling Dice. I'm too old for this crowd.
No, I hear it.
I'm
I was
familiar
looking
with
at
a lot
something, I'm
of
sorry.
Linda Ronstadt's music. I just don't recall that one. But she was an awesome artist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really sad.
This is one of the few times my age actually shows. I do not get that reference, but
It was one of the songs that she had as a hit, Tumbling Dice.
Check out the lyrics sometime and you get it.
I was gonna say and it may be a song I know because when it comes to music, if someone says, "Hey, can you name the song or the artist?" Nope, but I can sing damn near every lyric.
Mm-hmm.
Start playing the song. Oh, it's this one.
Yeah.
For the longest
And yes,
time,
Joe
that was
Dog, I
Blister in
think he
the
has
Sun for
lost
me.
control.
No, I haven't lost control. What makes you think I ever wanted control? I mean,
And
seriously.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
something like that. Okay,
Yeah.
Joe, you can show people if you want.
And now I got Blister in the Sun stuck in my head. So, but finally, shock treatment's out of my head because Dan got that stuck in my head earlier,
I'm sorry.
and now I got it stuck in my head again.
Again,
Oh.
I love that album. I really do. Okay.
Debilitator, why is it always sooner or later? We're bitching in the kitchen or crying in the bedroom all night. Dun, dun, dun.
Yep. Okay. Now that's obvious. You have not yet discovered the Ramones.
No, I know the Ramones quite well.
Yes. Well, there's.
I was an 80s punk and didn't realize I was an 80s punk until I was in my 40s.
There is a whole other shock treatment that you can.
Just looking at the list of bands under punk, and I'm like, shit, I was a punk. Although this has pretty much been my normal dress style most of my life. This and t-shirts.
Yeah,
You
really.
know what? You don't have to dress. Who was saying that the other day? That doesn't matter. Well, Sarah was during. Never mind the furthermore. That you don't have to be gothic to be gothic. You don't have to look gothic to be gothic. You don't have to look punk to be punk.
I had to laugh because of so many kids that were always like, I'm so goth. I'm like, no, I'm goth. My ancestors whooped yours ass.
I went through my gothic period, and then I started working at Champion, and I was, the uniform was a Champion T-shirt or sweatshirt, Champion brand, and khakis. You know what? By the time I got home from work, I'm like, I'm not gonna go put on dark clothes and blah 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 blah. Do my makeup. I'm like, you know what? I guess I'm just not gothic anymore outside.
I liked the goth lifestyle and scene and stuff like that. I just hated the people that were just like, I'm so goth.
Yeah.
I'm so dark. Sparky, let's you and me have a conversation.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I did. I did that one year. Our library had Star Wars themes for the free comic book day, and I'm like, uh, I don't really want to go as Darth Vader, but I dyed my hair black fingernail polish. I had a friend of mine who was goth do my makeup, and I went as Darth Vader's cousin, Goth Vader.
There is a
It could have been
burlesque
worse.
show.
You could have gone
The
as his
Empire
ex,
Strips
Ella.
Back.
I'm not that big into Star Wars, so I wasn't sure what kind of female. So I'm like, no, I'll do that. Carried my lightsaber and had the other hand without the glove so that they could see the black fingernail polish. Had a pink glove on the other one instead of the black one. And there was a
Glitter goths
gentleman
were
there,
always my favorite.
huh?
Glitter goths were always my favorite.
A guy was
They
telling
just
the
had
kids
the more
how,
fun.
yeah, how they fought with lifesavers, and I go back and I'm like, "Vroom. Are you talking about my cousin Darth?" And he's like, all right. So we had ourselves a little lightsaber fight, but never dye your hair black. I used Dollar Tree cheap dye,
Well, that's
semi-permanent, that was supposed to wash out in 6 to 8 shampoos.
Mm-mm.
2 years. And it only came out because a friend of mine, I wanted to do a rainbow in my hair bleach, and um, color taker outer stuff. I don't know. It took us 4 hours to get the black out of my hair enough that she could put the pink, purple, and blue in it.
Yeah, I don't believe in dyeing my hair. Other people, it's fine. But it's, well, the thing is, I luck out where my gray is actually more silver and white. So, it looks more like highlights. I've actually had gray in my hair since I was like 16 or 17. It's just, it's getting more prominent now. And you can see it better when it's cut short.
Mm-hmm.
But I wear it long because I figure at some point in time I'm going to lose most of my hair anyway. So if I have it long when I'm young, then I average out a full head of hair my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
My dad hated when I said that. My dad was very crew cut, flat top,
Mm-hmm.
until he got married to my wife, until he got married to my mom.
Whoa.
Oh, there's a Freudian slip. Boy, Youngie and Teddy.
That's because you're.
I'm not touching that one either.
My mom, my
That's what she
mom's
said.
my mom's grandfather after his wife died, married my dad's aunt. So I've got a family circle going on.
At least it's not a bush.
Actually, that's not unusual for that generation.
At least it's not a family poll, but it's when Cleve Sellers married Augusta, probably Buck at that point in time.
Okay.
That's when my mom and dad met. My dad was 6, my mom was 5, and my dad's like, I'm going to marry her someday. And they spent 50 years married before my mom passed.
So I think I found one of the next designs I'm going to do, and I have it. If you can pull it up for me, Dan.
Okay. Like we don't already.
I need that as a sign that I can hang right here, please.
It's going to be a sign, yes.
Here's your
Please.
sign.
Hey, Rich, you want to get me one of those too? I'm teasing.
I have a sign that I'm thinking of commissioning Joe. It has a Thor's hammer on it, and it says, "Notice, this house is following the old ways. We are not interested in having our souls saved."
I could probably do that.
Yep.
I just need a black and white line of Thor's hammer, and the text is the easy part.
Yeah.
Really?
Or I could just send you the picture
Oh, yeah.
of the sign I have, and you can do whatever you need to do.
Yep.
Yep.
Now,
Joe, you and I
my
need
little
to talk
sister
about
once
some
asked
sign
me-
ideas.
But I love dyeing my hair weird colors. I'm
I've
like,
never.
I used to be, I'm too old for that. Then we're on a trip and I see this lady who's got to be in her late 70s. And she had rainbowed her hair. And I'm like,
I'm too employed for that.
well, see, I'm not. I don't have to worry about that.
That's why
I'm
I
like,
never have.
if she can do it, I can do it. I think I'll probably have green hair when I come to Halocon this year. I haven't decided.
I would love to dye my hair green.
Don't use food dye. Does not wash out.
Well,
Oh,
it'll be
if
another
you
17
want-
years before I can have a chance to dye my hair green, probably.
If you want something that'll wash out quickly, use Kool-Aid.
But that can stain
Really?
too, though.
Yes,
Well,
but
a lot of
it
kids-
does come out a whole lot quicker than the commercial dyes and
Right.
food coloring.
Late 80s, Kool-Aid hair dye usually lasted maybe a week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My niece
Now,
did it.
There's also that spray on hair color that you usually find around Halloween. That washes out in one go.
That washes out with your sweat during the night.
Well, that's true.
Mm,
Sometimes it can
Because
stain though, especially with having the
that,
light
I
hair
have
to go
had my
one way
hair
or the
green
other.
before.
Now, my sister once asked me why I don't dye my hair back dark brown the way it used to be when I was a teenager, a very young teenager, because it started turning gray before I was about 16. And I just looked her straight in the eye and I go, that would be vain. I said to my sister, who had copper red hair at the time, and whose original color was the same dark brown that mine was back when my hair actually had a color instead of being the absence of color.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't spoken to for a couple of days. So Misty does not like the idea of aging. She hates the term old lady, anything to do with that, stuff like that. She hates anytime I tease her about being old and stuff like that. She was really pissed when our first grandchild was born because I just looked at her and went, Grandma.
And
But
he still has a little bit of a bruise right here.
Yeah.
but she liked to dye her hair back to her natural color, and I was fine with that. I'm like, if you're doing it for me, you don't have to. I love you the way you are. It's not the color of your hair, it's you. I'm like, personally, I view it as a vanity. I view painting your nails as a vanity. I view, dyeing your hair as a vanity. But here's the thing. I don't judge other people about their personal vanities. Everyone's vain about something. I am vain about the length of my hair. I like my hair long. When it starts getting too much longer than this, and I can actually put it into a ponytail, that's when Misty's fingers start twitching towards the scissors. But I'm like, we all have our vanities. Me, I like my, flavors of goatee. I really like, having a handlebar the past decade or so. Even though I'll trim it down during the winter because mustache wax and mufflers and especially, lately masks.
Don't go together.
You take it off and it looks like,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like Snidely
restyle
Whiplash
it forever.
It looks like Snidely Whiplash after Dudley Do-Right, got the dynamite behind him and he blew himself up, and it's just like,
Hey, Dan, what does your hair look like down? I had to take mine down.
It's not going to work real well because of the headphones. Basically, okay, let me take the headphones off.
You okay there, Donna?
Oh, I'm fine. I grew up in the 70s. I love men with long hair.
Here's the thing. This is the perfect moment for someone to be playing hair in the background.
So basically, I've got that whole Anthony Hopkins thing from the Thor movies going on.
Are you okay there, Donna?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we
Donna
lost
needs to go
Donna.
ring her bell.
I think some bills have
Sandy
already been
Marwood
rung.
now.
Where's Calvin? No.
Yep.
That's not the one she's studying right now.
I know. That's why I had to ask.
This time it's charcoal.
All cats are gray in the dark.
For sure. My bosses, when I worked at the floor shop, both of them were totally white-haired by the age of 20. I mean, their kids didn't stand a chance. But like Misty, Evelyn didn't want to go white yet, so she would go and have her hair dyed. Kind of a brown, I guess. Well, one day, she and Ed had a really bad fight. This is a story I got. And she's like, I've got to go get my hair dyed. We'll continue this when I get back. And he quipped, well, with that temper, you might as well dye your hair red. And when she came back home, she had her hairstylist dye her hair bright red. So, yeah, you got to watch what you say to people sometimes. But I love the different colored hairs. I even like pink hair, and I hate pink. But I just love it. I've seen some gorgeous teals and greens, and I'm like,
I
not
know
too
about a year or
I
so,
know
Misty
several
actually
ladies that really look good in various shades of teal. I mean, seriously, they've got it rocking.
I might have to look into that.
See,
Well,
when
a
my
lot of it is their self confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and believe me, self confidence is very sexy.
I don't remember the last time I've dyed my hair. It's been years and years and years and years and years because I just to me I just don't
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Mm.
But one of the things when I get my disability is that I am going to go for a hair roulette where they hold up two cards behind you and you're blindfolded and you pick
Ah.
like long, short, blah blah blah. And I've already talked to the girl that does my hair. She knows me really well, so she knows.
Bangs, mullet.
Yeah, which she knows not to do that, but
Nah.
she's like, "Do you want to do like the hair dye?" Blah. So she's like really pushing
Okay,
for me to get.
really, Anthony Hopkins now.
Uh, it works. It works.
I know, I know. I got a picture of myself in a tuxedo with
I've
very,
got a
very short
bandana there a
hair
little bit.
and with the eye patch on, and I'm standing there, camera going, and one of our no longer with us cats jumps up on the chair next to me, on the very top of the chair next to me, and she wants to be petted. So I'm petting her, and the camera goes off. Beautiful picture, absolutely beautiful picture. But it's one of those things where it's like James Bond wishes he could look that damn good, boy.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's
So
there's another one where I've got the actual leather biker's cap, not the sailor's hat, but the actual biker leather with no emblems or anything version of that on, and it's like 30 years old and gray around the edges and just kind of shapeless and everything. Put that on, no glasses or anything, short hair, and I'm just kind of going. And I've got one of the biggest wrenches I've got for my toolkit in the car, and it's like, this is the airship mechanic you're going to trust. And it's just it looks so Irish, I swear. It really does. Just the expression on my face, I guess, carried it off. But um,
Well,
so
Oh,
2004.
we
I
were in Walmart one time, and they had the hair dye and the same aisle that they had the shampoo, and I was picking up some shampoo, and this blonde woman wanders down and starts to pick up her usual blonde shade, and Carl says, men really like redheads. And he pointed at, I think it was the Celtic red. And he says, bet your guy will really love this. And she bought it. She bought the red, and he did that with two separate women. And I'm standing back there going, yeah, okay.
Yeah, when I suggested Misty, and I wasn't even suggesting the full red. I was suggesting, maybe some red highlights in her hair and stuff like that. She shut that down real quick.
oh,
But going back to the eye patch, the year, so 2004, the year I proposed to Misty. I proposed to her on her birthday, the 6th of November. So the day before Thanksgiving, she really wants me to come out, and I had just gotten over an extremely bad cold. The cold was so bad that the swelling from the cold pressed down on the facial nerve,
ah,
so that this entire side of my face was paralyzed. I had Bell's palsy.
oh
So
no.
I'm out clearing off my car because it's just a horrendous blizzard. And Misty's like, I really need to see you tonight. I'm like, oh, shit. So I had to drive an hour and a half through bad drivers. I don't care about the weather. It's the bad drivers.
Mm-hmm.
But clearing off the car, a snowdrift built up in this eye because I could not blink. So right after I left work, I'm like, I'm going to Walgreens first, and I bought a crap ton of real tears, eye drops, and then an eye patch so that I could actually be out in the weather without snow actually accumulating in my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, I looked like a ne'er do well that day. So, or for the next.
Well,
Well, that's
that
what we
one,
women
that one I
like.
got at one of the local grocery stores, and it is just a plain cotton, a very stiff cotton eye patch.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Um,
That's when I saw it. I'm like, that's just exactly what I bought from
Yeah,
Walgreens that day.
I'm sure it's the same thing, just different store.
Yeah,
Um,
Mm.
but
probably even
as
the same
far
product,
as
just a different packaging.
probably same packaging, just different brand name on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Instead of being packaged for Walgreens, it's packaged for
Ingles.
Kroger or Equate or yeah.
The thing is, I discovered that back when I was getting into steampunk, and that led me to the discovery that I had always been steampunk. I just didn't have a word for that. And when you make things out of whatever you've got and use it up, wear it out, make it do whatever it is, and a lot of things from your grandparents' era become
Hey,
hand me
Michaela.
downs. Hey, Michaela.
Hey.
Good evening.
Woo.
Hi,
Okay,
Michaela.
well, uh, there we go. Uh, glad you're taking a break with us.
Right.
Yeah, it's very good news.
Yeah,
And
about time for another episode of Rogues After Dark. I've already finished the one that you put up.
hey, she's working on something. Give her time to work on that, and then go to something else. Fans are so demanding.
Aren't we, though?
Yeah, really. I've got to write a word every 3 years. Uh,
See, that's where I kind of got it over some of the others because I've got a backlog of stories.
It's kind of hard to see, but that's one of the last times I dyed my hair. It was that bright ass red color, like a cherry red almost.
Okay.
Oh, Carl would have so loved you.
He
Not
loved
that
me
he does-
anyways, but
Not that he does it
he
now,
loves her
but
now. I mean, seriously.
yeah, as a redhead, oh yeah, he'd be all over you.
that's what he says. Stuff like that. I'm like, I don't think I can show him some of these pictures.
All right,
Oh,
Dan.
go ahead and show him, and then tell him then tell him no.
Dan, you need to
Yeah.
bring up Michaela's most recent comment.
Mm. Well, I clicked. There we go.
We like them when they're bigger.
That's
Here,
what
just
she
show him that
said.
one then with the red hair, shooting a gun.
Okay, he'll see that tomorrow when he's watching this. And
Oh,
then
yep.
he had to.
I forgot about that.
We just
oh,
meet these
shucks.
people Tuesday at lunch, and he had to tell them the Walmart story. You've heard it?
The leopard print Walmart story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He tries to hold that over me, but I'm like, yeah, but you wouldn't know what you're getting into. And with me, you know what you're getting into. Well, now you do.
I beg to differ. He probably would know what he was getting into, but how long getting into it would be carrying on, I don't know.
Good night, Joe
Night,
Dog.
Joe Dan.
Good night. Good night, Joe Dog.
Good night, Joe
Joe
Dog.
Dan. Joe Dog.
Joe
Good night,
Dan.
Joe Dog.
Uh,
I I know there's
Joe
only.
Dan, now I'm just picturing a giant kaiju just stomping through a city with, two heads. One's Dan's, one's Joe Dog's.
I know there's only about 12 minutes left on the show, but I'm fading quick, so I will see you guys all later.
Good night, Joe.
Thank
See
you
you,
very
Later
Joe.
much for
Friday
being
evening.
here. And see you. Well, next time we see you, it's going to be too long. So make it quick.
That's what she said.
No, that's not what she said. That's exactly the opposite of what she said.
Sometimes we like quickies.
I was gonna say,
See you when you can, okay?
Hopefully, see you tonight in the green room.
Oh, yeah. I should be around.
Oh my
So.
God, it is Friday. Oh my Lord.
Yes, it is. Well, for you,
I'm
we still got 12
doomed.
minutes.
I'm doomed. We're all gonna die. We should have stayed in Lilliput. Damn.
Somebody
I
get the
forgot
short
how to
boat
do
ready.
that voice.
guess what Fahrenheit is?
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night,
Good
Joe.
night.
Good night,
All right,
Joe.
Joe. So, for those who have
Heavenly
actually
day.
watched the late night ruminations, how are you guys liking just that little rambly bit that I'm doing for now?
I actually enjoy it.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
And now I'm getting more production values. I actually have title cards and those
I
little
saw
intro
that.
sound bits.
Isn't it fun?
It's almost
I mean,
like you're doing
seriously,
just like
isn't it
a
fun?
video blog, a video like a vlog almost. And you know what?
That's what it is for the
kinda
moment. Yeah.
That got really loud for a second.
Sorry.
Did that do that to everybody or just me?
Just
It was
you,
just
I
you.
think.
Just you.
Okay.
Looked like you got a bit of shock treatment there.
I got a what?
So it looked like you got a little bit of shock treatment right there.
I did.
Hold on, mister. Don't you blow your last transistor. Sorry.
That's all right. I remember every word. Yes, indeed. I remember every word of both of them, actually. It's really hard to hear the soundtrack to Shock Treatment and the Ramones at the same time.
Our
I can
new
do that.
CIO.
I am
Well,
really weird. I can do that.
Right now, what's playing in the background is Cypress Hill.
Our new CIO who started this month came from a law firm called Denton's. Every time someone mentions the law firm he's from, I have to restrain myself from the audience participation line of "Yay, Denton, the home of happiness."
And now I've got Shock Treatment going through my head, and Denton, we are okay. Ah, okay. I can. No, I can't turn it off, but I can put it on mute. Ah, that's the thing with me and music. There's there was one comedian that said that wouldn't it be great if life had a soundtrack so you could hear the
Welcome to my
villain
head.
sneaking up on you, music and stuff like that. And I'm going, everybody doesn't have a sound. I've had a soundtrack since I was born. Back when I was really, really little, it was Beatles, but now it's, or now it's anything at any time. And just the slightest suggestion can set off the memory of what it sounded like in quintophonic sound with Dolby digital filtering. I mean, seriously, uh, there's always something. There's always music. Sometimes I'm lucky enough for it to be mine. Most of the time, it is just popular music from the last 6 decades. No, 8 decades, because I like old stuff too. Um, it's really weird when you're walking through a store and you can hear Glenn Miller in your head and they're playing Blondie on the PA. I'm going, 6/8 time, honey, 6/8 time. Um, it's not easy being me, but it's fun. Ah,
But thing
no.
is, like, okay, I make up all these little songs about the cats, like little, like Georgia, it's little orange Georgia, and it's a little red Corvette. And I'm sitting here as you're telling that story, I'm singing that song in my head, and Def Leppard's playing in the background,
Hmm. Um,
and not a song I like either.
doesn't matter whether you like it or not.
No,
There are songs that I absolutely hate that get stuck in my head. I mean,
no, the
we're
Def
we're
Leppard song that's
yeah.
on. I don't have a choice on that. That's just whatever what came on TV.
There are songs that I will turn off the radio rather than listen to.
Mhm.
There's one or two that are just if they come on, pip, power goes off on the radio. Sorry, not going to
Yep.
hear that.
Yep.
Um, Rather than
That.
change
Yeah.
the station, turn the radio off, which doesn't help me any at all because it's right there, eidetic memory, every note, every chord, every cheesy of the thing, and then I have to try and give myself an earworm to drive that one out of my head. I'm lucky. I'm lucky. Usually, it Alice Cooper works, and believe me, I've listened to almost everything Alice Cooper's ever done, and I passed that on to my wife. She thinks Alice Cooper writes the best love songs ever, and she's right.
I'm laughing because The Promise by Win in Rome was on a few nights ago when I was watching MTV Classics. And I got stuck in my head, and it was stuck in my head. It was stuck in my head. Ted and I went to go do something the other day, this last weekend, and it was on the radio. And I was like, no, I need to listen to it because I hope it falls out of my head. Because if I hear it, a lot of times it'll fall out. And he is sitting there
Mhm.
like, number one, why are they even playing this on this station? And you could tell he is just like, twitching
Seething.
and yeah. And I'm like, I have to. Okay, it fell out of my head. We got in the car Wednesday. He had yesterday off from work, and we get in the car. We had to run and get some stuff for the kids, and we get in the car and turn it on, and it's on again. And I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna get
It's
stuck there again.
back.
Which
And he's
actually,
like,
speaking of Ted, how did those interviews end up turning out for him?
they decided to go a different direction, so he's still at the same place.
All right.
But he's kind of got a different point of view of what's going on. Like he's trying to keep not in a bad mood, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
that makes absolute perfect sense. Um. Oh.
oh, and that's where
Um.
the cat got me.
Oh, good. I thought you was flipping us off there for a moment.
No, that's where the cat got me. I was telling you that like right
Yeah.
in right there. And then when I pulled back, he was still stuck in my finger. I'm like,
Uh,
I am a big Harry Anderson fan.
Yes.
mhm.
He is one of my major idols, especially when it comes to music. Oddly enough, my two favorite magicians are Harry's, Houdini and Anderson. So I've been rewatching Night Court. So I had to laugh because the other day or yesterday, one of the episodes involved Michael Richardson pretending that he thought he was invisible, and it was also the same time that Harry had drops in his eyes, so he couldn't see. So he's like, well, how many fingers am I holding up? And he goes to do the wiggly thing like that. And Harry replies, it better not be one.
Oh,
That was
Okay,
some of the best TV back then. You know, Crow's even starting to pay attention and sit through and like a couple of episodes.
here's a recommendation for if you want to drive out an earworm. Listen to Alice Cooper, Crazy Little Child. If that doesn't swamp your brain,
Who's that?
and
My ride's here.
Okay.
if that doesn't swamp your brain and drive out all the other songs and leave just room for that one,
Fire truck.
I really can't. I really can't make a better recommendation, unless you want to dip into Black Sabbath, because those guys will really soak up your brain.
Mm-hmm.
The Winnie the Pooh theme song works sometimes too. Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh. Pooh Bear's my boy.
I saw that. Nobody ever made fun of you about your poo.
That was really funny. Here I am,
Donna,
8th grade. Winnie the Pooh is riding in the airplane with me. It's on the tour bus with me. None of the other kids made a single joke about that. They made fun of my weight. They made fun of me being awkward and shy and stuff like that. But they never messed with Pooh Bear.
because they knew that you would whoop them up one side of the room, across the ceiling, down the other side, across the floor.
It's like making fun of a sibling. You can do it,
But nobody
but
else.
nobody
can.
else can. And that'd be like,
And another funny thing, I'm a big Pooh Bear fan. Misty is a big Tigger fan. And I always give her grief about how Tigger is a rapist. He bounces on other men without consent.
and this is why there's the cancel culture now.
So,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, in the
And on
studio
that note-
audience,
and with that,
It's time to say goodnight, Gracie.
we've reached 2 hours, and I'm sure there's an exit strategy here involved. I don't know exactly. All
Oh,
right.
by the way, I want to apologize for the Rick roll last week when I felt like absolute dog rot, but I couldn't resist.
That's okay. You only got Joe Dog. He deserves it.
Yeah.
On that note, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, everybody that's here. And we shall meet again in
48 hours.
No, more like 17.
Well, for Last Man Standing, 48 hours.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but Green
I
Room.
was thinking the green room. Yeah. I mean,
And for those that are able to watch Nick during the day, 9 hours.
I wish I could.
Now that
but
we
I'll
don't
be,
add.
I'll be at work. So, in any case, let's tell the bedtime story and say goodnight, Gracie.
Give that
Good
crazy.
night,
Good night.
Gracie.
Transmission overload.
System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.